white. That's my kitty. You look like a saint. You're so cute. Yes. Oh boy, when you guys see this recording, here we are with Saint Bunny. You can see she's just engulfed in the white light and happy to be. Hi, Diane.
Can you hear me?
I
Mary Beth?
can.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I sure can. Hold on a second. Somebody's having a problem connecting, which is odd because she got the same.
I couldn't use the link either.
Oh, is
So
that
I had
right?
to go into Zoom and enter the ID code.
Okay, thank you for that. That helps me figure out. That's very odd.
hmm The 107 number.
107, thank you.
hmm
I wonder what happened. Hey, let's see what we got here. Meetings. That's very odd because the link has got the right numbers on it.
I know. I called Mary Beth.
That's Sarah and Summer. I could hear them. You got in.
I did.
Yay. Honey, you made it. Thank you.
I was on the wrong meeting.
No, you know what? Everybody's had that problem, and I'm not sure what was going on. I was on a previous Zoom meeting and disconnected, and that may have just made it a little harder to get in. So we're glad you all are here.
Is the video frozen for anybody else, or is it me?
I'm okay. Sometimes I find, let's see, what do I close down? I'll close down a few things here. I'm going to leave that up just in case. If you close down a few other things, like you can actually close your browser once you're in. Summer, it's dog time. I got kitty time here. That's funny. Sometimes it gets better, Diane. So we have two other folks coming in. Tammy is going to watch the recording, so we're going to get going. And Janet's going to be a little bit late. She already let me know, and so let's do this thing. So let me just do one more thing in case Janet has an issue. I'm going to send her the ID number. Pardon me for just a second, guys. Okay, all right. Actually, I'm very excited to be doing this with you, so let me show you my excitement now that I got the technology crap taken care of. I really love this class. I'm really I love helping people connect to their animals, and here's my mantra: if I did it, you can do it. Okay, that's the truth of the matter. Because I didn't start connecting to my animals until I started doing some learned some energy things, and about 10 years ago. So I was in my 50s. Finished a career, U.S. Navy retired officer, then worked in association for another 20 years, and then like this woke up. And I think that's possible for any of us if we set our intentions, because the pieces of doing it are already in our bodies, and our animals are already doing the intuitive stuff because they pick up our energy already. So it's just like, connecting, and then we got to turn on. I don't think they have to, but we got to turn on and find how to tune into them. So that's what we're going to do. And what I'd love you to do is, if you we can take turns, if you would just introduce yourselves and tell us where you live and who's in your family, with maybe, I always like to hear a cute story or two about your animal because it just makes everybody happy, which brings the vibration up. So Sarah, can I start with you? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. Where are you from? Who's with you? And anything else you want to tell us about yourself?
Okay. This is Summer, and we're from Alexandria. She's originally from Oklahoma. She is quite the life of the party. She recently had a birthday party over at Vola's, and like 12 people came for her birthday. That was her second party of the day. Her first party, 6 people drove up from Warrenton, Virginia to celebrate with her. She's
As it should be. As it should be, right?
Yes. And she just has this way of being where she's just like happy, and everyone just wants to be around her, and especially me. So
Thank you.
yeah. She's a cootie patootie.
Yeah, she is. So Hannah, how about you?
I'm Hanne Brøtter. We are living in Norway. It's in Europe, if you don't know.
We hope we do.
Yeah, and I have a dog. She's somewhere here. She's sleeping on the floor right now, and she is a Cocker Spaniel girl, and she is very sweet, I think. And we have just moved from Sweden to Norway, and I think maybe there is something she wants to tell me about that.
I bet there is, yeah.
Mm.
What was her name again, Hannah?
Brandy.
Brandy. Okay.
Mm.
I want to make sure. I knew it and I couldn't remember. Thank you. So how's the move going?
It's my move.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's finished. I still have some boxes to open, but we are settled in. All my work things are in place, so it's functional.
That's good. Yeah. I see. Oh, that's good. Okay. So let's go ahead. Diane, how about you?
Okay, I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
Yes. Loud and
Okay,
clear.
I don't know if you can see me or not. I saw the other folks' videos pop up. I'm actually at work at my office on my iPhone, so I don't have any of my animals here. But we live in Dallas, Texas, and we have a dog who is 6.5 pounds of fierceness, and it was the runt of the litter. So her sisters and siblings weigh about double what she weighs. And she just kind of has some little snippy issues and things like that. She's very sweet, but she's not cuddly. But she gets very snippy if people try to show us any affection. And I would love to be able to communicate with her about that. We also have 2 cats, both that were kind of rescued from the brink of death. One has been with us since 2011. She adopted our son at college. She showed up outside of his apartment in winter in Omaha, Nebraska, and wouldn't leave, and he couldn't stand it. So she immigrated from Nebraska down to Texas. And we also have a cat that we rescued almost 2 years ago, and he was under a van over by a little shopping complex, and he was about half the weight that he should have been for his age. And he loves to bring us dead things, and I think they were alive when he found them, but he brings gifts for us all the time, and I would like to discuss that with him a little bit. So we love our animals. but they all have a few issues, kind of like we do too, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It is exactly the same thing. Diane, what's your dog's name?
Our dog is Honey.
Honey, and then the cats, the one
The
that
cat, the one that immigrated from Nebraska is Magic. She's black, so she's Black Magic.
Oh.
And the one that we rescued from under the van that brings us all the gifts, he is our little stud muffin, Milo. So we have Milo and Magic. And yeah, Magic is very defensive when Milo just shows up next to her. And there's really no reason for her to be that way. But I don't know. I would like for her to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, and this is a great place to start that, because I've had talking this morning. I've had issues with my kitties. Same thing. So, yay! Glad you're here.
That's our family. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. So, okay, Janet, I think you got on, right? Is that the 703?
Hi. Yes, that's me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. So, I was just saying, glad to have everybody, and asking who's, where you are and who's in your family, so we just can get to know each other a little bit better.
Sure. And I'm sorry I'm not on the video. The link did not work for me. It said a session was already. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, but the phone number works, so I'm here. So I'm Janet, and I live in Northern Virginia with my husband and my two sons, and we have two cats that we adopted in, let's see, where are we now? They're 3. So in 2016, as kittens, they're siblings, a boy and a girl, and about 1 year into having them, we thought that their names are Ziggy and Miley, and we thought Ziggy was a really tough cat. It turns out he's really not. He's actually really anxious and really scared and acts out a lot, and has a lot of issues. So I've had, a few pet communicators help me discover this and sort of help me with some of his issues. So we've done that, and he actually is on anti-anxiety medication. He does a herbal drop from Jackson Galaxy, and those things seem to help him. But he still from time to time gets really anxious. So being able to communicate with him would be great. Miley is a dream cat, except that they hate each other. So she doesn't really, she'd rather he not exist.
Oh.
So yeah, they exist, they coexist and often rumble and tumble. And she hisses at him a lot. So, anyway, the story that I was given was that she knows he has a screw loose and she wants him to get his act together. So that's what I've been told.
Wow. Yeah, that's a tall order in the process.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And he's also much bigger than her. So that, comes into play as well. So.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you're here. And Tammy is not here, but I have worked with her and her cats, and I wanted to share you this picture. I think you'll get a kick out of this. When I started working with her, hopefully you can see this. She sent me all her cats for National Pet Day. In order to keep them straight, I had to do a little thing so that I could figure out who we were talking about, because she does. Obviously, she's rescued some cats here, so. 2 of these have passed on, but there's still a bunch in the household. So she is in Maryland, a little north of Virginia, and these are her kitties. Can you see? Hopefully, those who are.
Yeah, we can see that.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so you got a picture of all her cats. So let's share it. All righty. So let me just share some basics. Class is about an hour, but I may go over. So if you would just schedule an hour and a half so you don't feel like you have to run anywhere, that would be really nice. If you have to go, you have to go, but that would be helpful. We may run over sometimes. We are going to practice in every class. We're going to actually do some practice. So I'm going to do a little bit of teaching based on the information that I sent you, and then we're going to practice, and that is the way that we get good. Having the knowledge is helpful, but doing the work is where the magic happens. Okay, I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know already, but it's true here too. So we're going to do that. And my request is that you practice 2 times a week. And if you can, even, and when I would say practice, I mean try doing the long versions of the meditations yourself to connect. But even if you do just a lovely little 2 or 3 minute love fest, where you are just hanging out with that particular animal and letting them know how much you love them, and feeling the love back from them, that counts, because that sets up a really good vibrational connection to maybe asking the tougher questions. So, you get bonus stars if you do that. So you're probably doing it already, but I want you to do it really intentionally, with doing multitasking kind of stuff. Because that's what happens to me. I multitask. My animals really prefer some one-on-one time. So we also have the Facebook group, and if you haven't found it yet, email me and I'll send you the link to get in. We have a nice bunch of people. Folks that have taken the class already are still posting and talking about what they're doing with their animals. So it's a really fun place to get to know people and to ask questions in an easy way. Okay, we're not a fix-it class here. We're not. It's really not a place to give advice. It's more of a place the purpose is to discover your own intuitive abilities. So what is helpful is to maybe say, when I connect, it feels like this, rather than you should, or I take drops for that. I give my cats drops for that. There might be room for that sometimes, but usually we're focusing on what are we doing to connect with our animals. Oh, it's also a no judgment zone. A lot of animal lovers have very clear ideas about what's a good person when it comes to animals. And here, I figure if you spent the time and money to come into this class, you've exceeded the bar of good animal lover. So, like, no judgments about how we take care of our animals. And this is a safe place. It's confidential. So certainly feel free to tell stories without names, if you like, without identifying features, so to speak, so that we feel safe about what we're sharing. And this is 7 sessions, plus you will have a chance to sign up for a half-hour session with me, just one-on-one, so we can practice whatever you want. After that, I do have a nurture class, which is 8 sessions to go deeper. And I am also mentoring a couple people. So that's an option as well, just to keep in mind. And I'm working on UConnect energy, but I'm not there yet. So that's just some ideas for you. And I love questions. So questions are great. I love barking dogs, actually. So that's not a problem for me either. I'm going to get into the information right now. Before that, are there any burning questions or thoughts that need to be addressed? Okay, all right. So I'm actually using my handout to make sure I don't miss anything. So I think if you showed up in this class, you already have some intuitive abilities, because that's my intention, and that's who I attract, is intuitive people. And my goal is to get you communicating with your animals at some level. Now, I don't say you are going to be a professional animal communicator, get that sign ready, because that's what you're going to do. That's not what this class is about. It's to start communicating with your own animals and getting better relationships, better behaviors, maybe on your part as well as theirs. Who knows? I've had a few come up and says about that. So just to make things better in the family through animal communication. I believe that if you just relax and practice, you do the homework, you're going to blossom. Everybody who's finished the class has noticed a difference in their abilities. So I'm holding this that you are going to find the same thing. Okay. I also have to tell you that I always felt, when it came to intuitive stuff, I felt like the slow kid. Honestly, like, there's people who are seeing things and they were describing stuff and feeling, like stories and stories and stories. And I was like, did something such change here? It was like really basic. I feel something in my stomach. What is that? So again, I'm saying if I can do it from that level, I think everybody can. It's finding out figuring out where you're starting, what's your easiest gift, which way are you getting it fastest, noticing that, and then allowing for the other ways that you can get information to start popping in as well. And I'm telling you, I've noticed it with people again and again, that it does grow if you keep doing it. And I'm also giving you permission to try what works. This class isn't a guru mentality where I say how it works and you do it. You do it. I will do a meditation for you, and to help you clear. But if you find that there's a better way that you're thinking about to clear the stuff out of your thoughts, do that. I will suggest things, and if you notice that if I do it like this, it seems to work better for me. So do that. I'm just giving you kind of the best roadmap I've got, and I'm giving you permission to try it out. It's like going out to buy clothing. You want to put a few things on, see how they look, toss that one, get the next one on. Find what suits you. So that's. I'm sorry. So anyway, we're going to work on telepathy, which is connecting to our animals and having a transfer of information from our animals to. I got this from a client. So from our animals' head to ours. So Hannah, that's why I want to work with you, because I want you. Hannah does graphics. She's laughing like mad, but we want to see like stuff coming in and then stuff going back out, right? So we might hear things, we might see pictures, we might feel that anxiety that our cat Ziggy feels, and then when we're talking to them, we are able to communicate words, we can communicate feelings. We can communicate visuals. So it's that way. That's telepathy. Hang in there with me. So that's a little bit different than channeling. And that's going to happen to you, but I don't know why I think it's important, but I do. So that's why I'm teaching. Channeling is when you get good information, but it's probably not the little dog, cat, bunny that you're talking to. It might be from a guide. you might be from your higher self. Angels, people have angels that love them and give information. And the way you know the difference is probably the animal doesn't know that. And I think of physical things. So if I was doing medical intuition and a body scan on a cat or a dog, and I'd say, how are you feeling? And I heard, well, you know, this elbow really hurts every time I walk, and my back hips it feels really tight. I go, okay, if I hear the word rheumatoid arthritis, I don't think that's the dog, because I don't think the dog went to veterinary school and learned that term generally. I think that's channeling. What I'm asking you guys to do is to start with is, what is your animal providing? What information are they giving to you? And let the other stuff come in. But focus on is this for my dog or my cat? Does that make sense to you, where the focus is? Okay. Questions?
I have a question. This is Diane.
Yeah.
Do you just focus on one of your pets at a time?
Generally, I do. However, when they don't get along, there's a point where you bring them together and start talking to them both. Or I talk to animals when their people are on vacation, or when I'm on vacation, my animals are gone. I get them all together and say, in my mind, hey, you guys, we're leaving for the Shenandoah Mountains. We're going to be gone 6 nights, and Diana's going to take care of you and behave. But you're allowed to have a good time like we're having a good time, and here's when we'll be back. So you see this. Usually it's a one-on-one, but there are group times, right?
That makes sense. It always worries me when we leave and we have someone else coming to stay in our house. It would be nice if I could let them know we're going to be gone for this many nights, and then we'll be back, and just know that we love you and we're having you taken care of.
It really works well. I did it for one client, and for the first time, the cats didn't lose weight, and they were friendly. And I mean, they did pictures to show the difference when I had communicated versus all the times before. And you can do it, and then you can connect with them while you're on vacation and send them, hey, still love you, it's coming back. Because it's not a physical. You don't have to be looking in their eyes to make the communication. So yeah, it's a very useful ability for those of us who need to travel sometimes. Thank you, Diane. Okay, so let me also talk about clearing. We're going to do a meditation to clear. And the clear means to me is to get quiet enough to actually hear what might be coming from our animals. And what we need to clear is our thoughts, which never, ever, ever stop, but we do the best we can, and our emotions. And even we check our physical bodies in case our animals want to share that there's something physically going on. They want you to know about it. You have to clear your own stuff. And so my example is this. Back in the old days, when I asked for a cup of tea and everybody else was drinking coffee, they would run the water through the big coffee machine, hot water, and they throw a tea bag in there. I drink it, and it tastes like coffee-flavored tea. It sucked. So why you are clearing is you want to get the coffee, the Mary Beth flavored images out of your mind, right? You want it to come. And that also includes things you think you already know, which is things you think you already know about your animals because you're living with them. So you get in clearing, you start to say, I have this belief about my cat Bunny. Might be true. I need to put that one aside. I want to hear your point of view. I'm a little visual, so I'll give you a couple other examples that might help. So sometimes I see a thought coming in. It's almost like a dandelion seed floating by. And if you aren't paying attention, it's gone. And that's kind of the thoughts can come in. Another thing I see is if you have a room, if you're a hoarder when it comes to brain stuff, it's like a room full with stuff. You're trying to figure out what is the animals. Well, heck, they could be hiding behind that box over there, or those clothes that are done. You clear it out so that there's a little room for your animals' thoughts to show up. Or if you want to say it's like creating a stage where they come forward and they say, this is what I've got for you. So these are just fun kind of visuals to help you think of what are you doing when you're clearing. You're making some room for them to come in. All right. I can't emphasize, and I can't emphasize enough that realizing what you think you already know is true is so important. When my cat Buddy, she got kind of labeled the grumpy cat, and it turns out she had pain. So when we addressed the pain, the frown went away. And then I was talking to my daughter and telling her about that. She says, oh, she was always such a fun cat. She liked to play. So I started offering her times to play, and she started responding. So my vision of Bunny did not allow the other bunny to come forward, if that's making any sense. So it's really important to know what you're thinking about your animals and put them aside. Okay. So, when you start doing this, be careful about connecting with other people's animals. You might not want to do that right away unless you and they really trust you. Certainly don't give advice about whether they should be euthanized or not. That's like not funny, but be careful what you say and how you say it. And you might want to not do that for a while or practice just on yours or on mine or even on each other's. If you do connect, both our animals have free will. And so if you're connected with other people's, and even sometimes with your own, you kind of want to say, hey, are you ready to talk? Would you like to talk to me? And see if they're in a good mood and they want to check in with you. Sometimes, it's better than others. If you are working with another, happen to connect to somebody else's dog, get the person's permission as well. It is the same as walking up to a child and offering them candy without asking their parent first, right? Just those are the boundaries. You check with the guardian. And even if it's a family member, you still got to have the permission of whoever's taking care of them if you want to be squeaky clean. You can absolutely connect to animals who are sleeping, unconscious, or who have passed on, because you're connecting from mind to mind, and the mind is always available to connect. It survives death. So that's just info. If you hear no thank you, which I have, I'll tell you, I was talking to a dog practicing, and I kind of got this thing. He goes, and sorry you can't see it visual, but he actually turned his back on me like this and said, no, I don't think so. I'm not interested. I'm like, this is, so I just sat there and said, well, maybe you would just change your mind. And he finally, okay, what do you want? And we had a conversation. So, stick with it a little bit and just be open to saying, yeah, I'm still here. Let me know if you got anything for me. In connecting authentically with your animals is healing just by itself. When you get to feel and understand who they are and what they believe that themselves to be, it's like whenever you're in a conversation with somebody who really gets you, and how your just body relaxes and you feel valued and loved and safe. Same thing for our animals. So you are doing healing for your animals when you really connect to them. How are we doing? Okay. We are going to go over here, guys, but this is important stuff. So if you get, I have to talk a little bit about healing because I'm a healer as well as a communicator. And when you, and even in communication, when you ask for changes, we may not always get what we want. So let me talk a little bit about healing here. When we have a popular definition of healing means that the body was sick and now we're back to health, and it's all based on the body. There used to be even a Saturday Night Live. Billy Crystal used to have a guy who would come on and say, "It's better to look good than to feel good." You know, it's all about the presentation. And there's this belief that when you get old, you're frail and in tough shape. And I've even noticed that with animals. When students are practicing with my animals, not you guys, but they will automatically assume that my dogs are old and frail, and they're doing really well. So beliefs around that really get in the way in seeing who you're working with. When we're even communicating with our animals, it's really good to release an attachment to a certain outcome and just look for improvements. Look for something to change. Sometimes it is, sometimes the improvement is in an attitude. Sometimes it's physical. Sometimes it, you know, or you see a little tiny improvement. Just let go and see how it works. And maybe it's you that changes. You're more able to handle something. So that's all I'm saying there. Because we don't know what that animal's path is, even though we're their guardians. So their healing and their path may be different than what we think it should be. And even if that path takes them to passing on, we know that their souls survive and they're still okay. I'm going a little deep here, but that's what happens with me. I do go deep. So what I'd like you to do is always hold the intention of when you're connecting with your animals, that it's for their highest good, your highest good, and the family's highest good. That is a really great intention, and just keep holding that, okay? So you want to feel love for the animal, but you also want to give them space to be who they are. Any questions? Thoughts? No, we're okay. All right. So right now, what I like to do is to, without even training or anything more, I want to just do the 2 meditations with you. And have you pick an animal. If you have one, then you got your choice. And what I want you to do is first I'm going to do a clearing meditation with you. And then I'm going to do the theta brainwave connection and get you to a place where you and the animal can connect. And I would like you to just do something simple, like ask them, see if you can feel that you're connected to them, what that might be like, and ask them how they're doing, or ask them a question about something, or is there something they want to tell you. No expectations. The point is to just try it. So you have to know that some people have fallen asleep the first time, so there's no shame. Just if you kind of like, and I don't even think it's falling asleep. I think it's going into another state. If you come on back in the middle of my meditation, pick up where you're at and keep going. I recommend that you write stuff down that you get. It doesn't have to be long, enough that you remember what you got, because you go in a kind of a deep meditative state, and it's not like you are asleep, but have it written down so you've got a record of it. And I'm going to ask you how it felt and all that stuff. So if you prefer to, a lot of people would like to be off camera while they're closing their eyes meditating, and if that's your preference, Anna and Sarah, please feel free. What is really lovely about this is I basically gotcha, and I'm going to take you. I'm going to have a really high vibration so that we get this thing and we get it going. And your goal is to stick with it and imagine, pretend, or just believe that it's happening, and that you have a kind of a cool time, right? That's the best part to do it. So let's get started here. So just breathe nicely, and this is the clearing part, all right? This is the first part. And I want you just realize that you're sitting, or however, we're all sitting in our chair, and we're breathing. And notice your body sitting there. And notice how it feels. So what I want you to do is to start imagining, excuse me for just a second. I'm going to put you all on mute right now. I'd like you to just start imagining that you are looking at your body or feeling your body without actually moving or opening your eyes. And start from your feet on the way up. How does it feel? And come up your legs. And as you're doing that, I want you to imagine that to your side is a locker. Now, I always picture the locker, I think, from 7th grade, so it's a blue locker. I want you to see that it's open, and that's where you can put stuff in for later. If you need to clear it out, there's your locker. So if you feel anything for your body, I'd like you to take and just imagine taking that sensation and putting it in your locker. Come on up your legs and your knees, your thighs. How's that feel? There we go. Come on up your torso and in all the organs of your body. Anything going on there, just notice it. Okay, put your attention on that spot, into your chest. Of course, I'm gonna clear that out. Go down your arms, and if there's anything going on there, just put them in the locker. Release them as best as you can. And if it doesn't actually go away, just notice that that's yours. And coming up come up your back, your spine, your shoulders, your neck. Anything going on there, just put it in the locker and into your head. Okay, you guys are doing good. I'm feeling a nice connection. So we got skin, we got hair, we got eyes, ears. Feel all that, mouth, nose. Anything going on there, let it go into the locker. All right. Next, I want you to focus on your thoughts. Most of us have a to-do list. I want you to see it. If you're like me, what works is you see it written down on a legal pad and it's put in the locker for now. Maybe it's on your computer screen, save it and close it. Whatever it is. I'm talking just in imagination. Other thoughts, how am I going to do? How's it going to turn out? What's going to happen? There's thoughts like that. Any thoughts about discussions you've had with people or you're going to have with people that are kind of weighing on your mind? Please put them in your locker. Or the animals, thoughts about what you're going to talk about. Put them in the locker. There you go. And I'm doing this very slow and deliberate. As you do it more, I imagine and expect you to speed up, but we're doing it very deliberately, okay? Good. Oh, that worked. Really nice. Good, guys. I want you to just sit for a few seconds and see what it's like to have a quiet mind. A space where your animal could actually come in and be noticed. And you'd actually be able to hear or feel or experience something with them, whatever form it takes. There we go. Kind of nice. All right. So I would like you now to focus on your emotions. Maybe there's a little nervousness. If you don't have any, good for you. I would like to, as best as you can, take that nervousness. I put my emotions in little pretty little bags, like velvet bags, and hang them in my locker. Worry about, whether it's going to work. That's almost a thought and a sensation. You could kind of put it in there if you've got that. Anything that's coming through strongly. Maybe there's an emotion related to something outside of the class. It's just a nagging thing. Let that one go into the locker as well. And see what it feels like to be quiet emotionally. And now you're quiet emotionally, in the thought department, and physically. So you're ready. You've got some room now to allow something to come through from your animal. So now we're going to do the theta wave connecting. I will guide you through it, and I will make sure that everybody comes with me. So your biggest goal is to enjoy the ride and see and feel and experience whatever you do. Now, whoever's coming with us, would you just send a mental note to invite them along and have the intention that they are coming with us? Okay, let's do this. So focus on your body again. And I want you to picture what it might be like, even though you're a human, to be a tree. Because I like trees. And if you were a tree, you picture that your legs would be your roots and your torso would be your trunk. And I would say the arms, neck, and head would be your branches, and maybe your hair would be the leaves. And we have leaves on the trees now, springtime. So picture a tree in beautiful, loving spring. There you are. And as you breathe in, imagine you're breathing in energy into your torso. And because you're also a tree, imagine that your leaves are now bringing in energy from the sun. They're absorbing it and bringing it in. And don't make it hard. Just make it your imagination. We all have that. We've had that since the day we were born, and we could imagine that we're thirsty and somebody's going to give us a bottle or put us to breast. We were imagining that early on. It's there. So we bring it into our torso and that energy. Now, what I want you to do is bring that down your torso, your trunk of the tree, down into your hips. This is imagination or pretending or actually feeling, whatever works for you. Now keep bringing that down into your legs, into your roots. You have it go down your legs, past your knees, into your feet. And feel the energy in your feet. And by doing that, I'm just focus on it. See what you get. The ends of your roots. Now, what I want you to do is to see the legs be roots, and we're going to push through the body. Push those roots through our building, our house, down into the ground. And for the logical side of us, I'm going to tell you our destination is the middle of the earth. So that side can be quiet and just enjoy the ride. Because I know me. So push on through the dirt and the mud and get down to the rocks. Keep pushing. See those roots pushing. And see them pushing to the middle of the earth. And see what you see. Now I always see like a huge kind of a geode where there's a big crust, and when I look inside there's lovely crystals. Now I know this doesn't correspond to what the scientists would tell us, but it's fun. And you can do that too. Whatever you see, enjoy it. And I want you to look for a water source in the middle there. Now I see a well. Somebody else saw a really nice, beautiful spring. And I want you to dip your roots in and absorb the water of Mother Earth. Assume it's the best water ever. So we're nicely grounded now. We're just like, oh, Mother Earth has got us. And because we're roots, we can do this. And oh my goodness, I can feel it. You guys are doing great. And if you don't think you're doing great, take a break, take a breath, gather yourself in and say, yeah, oh yeah, I am doing this. Okay. Now I want you to pull those roots out of the water and feel like you're retracting them, because you can. It's our imagination. Bring it up through the earth. There we go, all the way up into the mud, in through the building, or if it's your house, bring it all back up into your feet. And imagine that they feel a little different because they've brought in the energy of Mother Earth. I got it in the right leg. Let me see. Really focus there. See what you can get. All right. Now feel it, bringing that energy up through the roots, which are your legs. See it coming up to your knees. There we go. Both legs up through the thighs. Oh yeah, I can feel it. And then into our hips, which are the torso. And up through our body, which is the trunk. Just imagine it's just rising up. And then it goes down our arms, which are some of the bigger branches, and comes back up into our torso, and goes up into our neck and our head, which are the smaller branches. And I want you to see it just sit in our head. And now I want you to just for a second, ask your animal, are you ready? Because we're going to go now. All right, so here's what I want you to do. After you've asked your animal, say, we're going to take a trip. I want you to come with us. I want you to feel your scalp. I don't want you to physically feel it. I want you to see if you can get some kind of sensation there. Now, here's what it could feel like. Sometimes it feels like pins and needles to me. Sometimes it feels like somebody's touching my hair very lightly. Or if you're really loving the tree analogy, there's a slight breeze. and it's rustling the leaves, which is your hair. And if you can't feel anything, just imagine that it's happening anyway. Take a couple deep breaths. I'm doing it for you. But you're doing pretty well, guys. I'm getting a strong connection. So now I want you to invite your animal to do this with you. Pop up the top, imagine you're popping out the top of your head. There we go. There you are, okay? And so are our animals. Okay. And now I want you to rise up out of your building, and I want you, we got Hannah from Europe, so we're gonna go find each other. We're gonna kind of, all of us in the US, we're gonna kind of cross the Atlantic, and we're gonna meet Hannah somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic with our animals. And we're all gonna join hands. This is so much fun. It's if I remember the old Peter Pan movies, cartoons where Peter and Wendy and the boys, they all joined hands to go to Neverland. That's a picture I keep getting. So if you just have fun with it. And there's Tinkerbell too. She's always reminds me. We got our animals with us. So let us start traveling out. And we're going to travel away from the Earth. We're going to go through our solar system. We see the moon and the sun, the planets between Earth and the moon, Earth and the sun, go through all the planets. See what you'd like to see. Maybe you're really seeing those planets. Maybe you're really seeing Saturn's ring. Who knows? Go all the way to the end of our solar system into the Milky Way galaxy. See those beautiful stars. Maybe you see a nebula. We're all together. We're not getting, nobody's lost. And then go through all the galaxies to the end of the universe. Almost there, people. At the end of the universe, I want you to just hang out as energy. In this spot, it feels like, for me, I go back to my grandmother's time when she was doing the laundry. Back in the day, a young woman, take it outside, put the laundry out on the line, and let it just hang out in the sun and dry. That's how I kind of feel when I'm in this place, just hanging out. And our animals are with us. I want you to picture that there's like a little ball of golden energy. It's almost a button. And I want you to picture that you and your animals are touching that. When you touch that, there's an opening, there's a door, or there is a window or a portal. If you're into those things, you know, there's a portal in the universe. I see sometimes in Earth that there's a hole in the Earth I have to go through. Strangely enough, that's where I'm at. Find what you find. Touch that button and find what you find. Go through that opening. That's where I've taught that the theta brainwave exists. And it's the really good connection with our animals. And now I'm going to give you a couple minutes to invite your animal in with you to really get a sense of it being with them in that space. And just ask them if they'll talk to you, and it might not be talking, if they will communicate with you. And if so, if there's something like they'd like to tell you, or do you have a question and you'd like to ask them? I want you to be aware of possibly receiving a thought, a memory, an emotion, a sensation in your body, a smell. Yeah, any of that could be possible. So I'm going to be quiet for a couple minutes and let you see what you get. And please relax. If nothing comes through, breathe a little more and just feel the energy coming through of your animal. And if you get that, you're doing great. Okay. Okay, so just to wrap up whatever's going on, and to save a little bit of time, I am going to do the return visit for you quietly while you come back to your bodies. So just come on back and realize you're back in your bodies, wiggle your toes and all that stuff. And I'm just going to picture you guys getting you back and myself and grounding you so you're all safe to drive and do things like that. So if you guys just come on back whenever you feel ready. I will do this. Animals too are coming back, of course. Okay, we're all grounded and should feel good. And whenever you're ready, if you go ahead and put your, come on back on the video. That would be great. All righty. So, from my point of view, from my experience, you all did really good. So there was a lot of energy flowing. Now, your experience might not be like, wow, I got this and this and this and this, but the connection was made. True statement, yeah. So I would like to hear from everybody, and I am not expecting anything other than what really happened. I just wanted to give you a taste of what it was like. So, well, let me get I like to write things down so that I got a little bit of notes here. So if you would just gather your courage and tell me the truth of what happened. And Sarah, I am going to start with you if that's okay.
Okay.
So tell me how it was or what went on.
Yeah, I saw like just flashes of like pink. And then like I was trying to connect to Summer, but I kept seeing other animals.
Oh, really?
But like just like flashes of animals, not.
Were they animals that you knew?
I think so, but like I couldn't tell. Like it was so quick, I couldn't tell.
Okay.
And then my brain was trying to figure out I just got so into trying to figure it out that
Okay, yeah, that's typical. I mean, that's normal, I think. That's what
I
brings
messed it up.
No, well, that's really interesting. So let me hear from everybody, and then I'll give some feedback. That way, we'll just let it go. Hannah, how about you? How did it go for you?
Was far away, and I could feel that. I could feel the presence of Mandy, but she didn't tell me anything. I could feel perhaps some, but more like wonder to do. Yeah. So it came and went and came and went. So it wasn't a stable thing either. So, but it was like being in a dark room and there is someone else there, but they don't say anything particular. They just are there. Mm.
Well, thank you. And tell me again, did I hear that there was you felt some emotion, or you felt emotion coming from Brandy, or did I miss?
Yes, some kind of, not fear, but more like a wonder, like curiosity. What are you
Okay.
trying to do? Yeah, but it was like if someone is looking at you this way, what?
Okay. I like that expression. That made that
Do
that
you,
okay. So,
do you see what I mean? Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Are you talking to me? Yeah, what? Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. Okay.
But she didn't say anything, and the most precise way to describe what I felt was that I was in a dark room, and I was aware of someone else's presence, and I think it was Brandy. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All righty. Janet?
Oh boy. Well, I had my typical meditating experience where I went into La La Land, and honestly, I can't even tell you what you said the entire time during that entire process, except for when you said it's time to come back. And when you said it's time to come back, my hands were really, like, all of a sudden went really tingly. So I have no idea.
Okay.
No idea. So I have this problem every time I do a guided meditation, every time I try to do it by myself, no matter how alert I am, no matter how much coffee I've had, no matter what. And so I don't know, like, if it's just gonna take practice, or if there's another way to do it without, like, I mean, I'm sitting up in a chair, like, you know, so it's not like I'm laying down or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah. So.
Okay. Well, good. The hands were tingly, and you did.
Yeah, I wrote it down. That was kind of interesting.
All right. Thank you. Diane, how about you?
Well, that was I found that meditation very, very interesting, you know, penetrating to the depths of the earth. And in my normal meditations, I have always asked for my body to give me a sign that I was connected, and I would normally feel my pulse more strongly in my fingertips. However, this time I was more focused on my feet and the roots and the beautiful water. And so at one point in the meditation, you had said, okay, now it's time to connect with your animal and ask them to come along with you on this journey. I guess it was the asking permission part. And my sense was that it was Honey, our dog, that I had focused on, that she was very ready to come with us anywhere. She was very open to that. And then I just kind of left it at that, like, what, you know, are we connected? I want to be connected with you, and all of this. And the main things that I felt, which was kind of odd, is at one point my head itched, like my hair. And then the other thing was I had just a second or two of shaking, which she's one of those little shaky dogs.
Yeah.
You know, when she looks at you, she'll just kind of be shaking, and then she'll not do it, but she does it a lot. And so I don't know if that was just something I experienced or if that was my connection with her, but I didn't get any kind of special you know, message or anything like that that just jumped out at me.
This is I'm not kidding when I say this. This is a great start, Janet. Even for you, Janet, that you did it and came on back. Let me go a little slow. So Sarah, the flashes of pink. What you want to do with the flashes of pink is, as you practice, is to say, what does this mean? You know, like, that's interesting. What does it mean? You're like asking your intuition to be more specific. Seeing other animals, I have had that where other animals have come in. Sometimes they push their way in, like, you know, we had people practice talking to Tibor, and they get information about Stella. Or my son's dog shows up too. So she's a pretty feisty little personality. So, you know, that is not a bad thing. So where you want to go, although you don't want to cut that off because it's kind of fun, is do you practice making sure you're connecting to who you want to connect, but not like closing them off, just saying, yeah, I get that, but right now, this is who I want to do this, and maybe we can talk later or something like that. Hannah, it is, being in a dark room is sometimes how I explain my intuitive abilities. That it feels like I really have a picture of being in my grandparents' basement sometimes where there's just one little light, and I wish, I need a flashlight. And questions kind of for me are the flashlight of saying, here's where I want to get the information. So I think that's really accurate about what it feels like sometimes to be opening the intuitive channels. I do think that the fact that you got you talking to me, you got a connection and you got something real there. So it's important for everybody, for you and all of us to say, yeah, I got something real here, and not dismiss it, because then you build on it. Okay. Janet, with that, it feels, when I've had that happen, it feels like my body and mind and soul are processing things. What I would guess you might do is take the short version and just do a really quick 2-minute clear, and then try feeling the connection and see if you can stay attuned. Do a short version of this, okay? I'm going to continue to do the long version because I think it's really good to open up the vibration, but there's nothing wrong with doing a short version to see if you can keep the attention there. And Diane, that what you felt a head itching, it's exactly that. That's I think you probably, that's what I was describing about feeling things. So very good. And you did get that honey was ready and open. I think that's good. And the fact that you were physically doing shaking just like she does tells me you connected to her.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Yes, because I have had that, sincerely have felt with it, like anxious dogs. I have felt I'm not what a panic attack feels like, and I don't have panic attacks. But now I know what they feel like because I tuned into a dog and he was having a panic attack. So I think that's significant. Janet, I think it's just keep working on trying the short version, and when you do your practice this week, and again, this is a really good start for everybody. Questions or comments?
I have a question. This is Diane. Do you want us to continue to try to do this as we go throughout this next week before our next class? Try it with our different animals, or because we may find, I'm guessing that one may be more receptive than another.
I think this would be great to try it with different animals. You'll get an email, Diane, that has I've got the recorded guided meditations that you can use if you like to do the connection, or you do it yourself. So yes, I would like you to do that. I'd like you to, and there's also a homework sheet that I sent today that you could record some of the information if you want to. It's a good way to track what you're doing.
Okay, that sounds yes, great.
Please, thank you for asking. Yes, please practice. And you get into you can either in the Facebook page try to tell me how things are going, the Facebook group, or you can email me and I'll respond as well. Whatever's not everybody's comfortable with Facebook, but I'll respond either way.
I have one question about not connecting with other animals.
Yeah.
This weekend, I have a meeting in New Mexico on Monday, and I'm going to visit some friends the couple days prior. They have 2 rescue dogs. Is it okay if I practice on them as long as I don't discuss it with them or say anything, or what, are there any kind of ground rules there?
Rescue dogs are tricky, you know. I would, first you must get the people's permission. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
not telling them isn't, it's not a good vibration to start with. What might, my guys just came in. What you might do is ask them for permission and say you're taking a class, and it would be all right if you got anything to share it. With rescue dogs, our goal, and this is the goal of people who work with rescue dogs, is to get them into a life where they're happy and they have let go of the past. So bringing what you want to do, this is deep stuff, Diane, so please listen closely. What you want to do is you do not want to support any bad things that happen to them. These are not poor babies. These are animals who have chosen to find another life and start again. And so the best thing you can do if you do this is to look for the essence that is just the lovely, wonderful dog or cat or whatever. I'm going to keep talking a little bit because this is the healing that we do on the planet. My dog Tibor came in with fear, aggression, very scary stuff. His essence is a lovely, sweet dog who wants to be part of the family. When you connect with that stuff, that's the stuff to share. Share with, who they want to be. And even with animals with tough behaviors, I'm thinking, Janet, who do they want to be? Is that can I send you off with doing that for them? If that's kind of your mission, if you do it, your mission, if you choose to accept it.
You're not going to self-destruct in 30 seconds, are you?
No, I am not. But really, we do not want them to be stuck in that sad past life. That is the last thing to do to an animal or a person who's had a tough life. We want them to reset and restart.
Right. One of the dogs they've had for several years, and the other one they got just a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And I think it was that the owner just was put into a home and was unable to care. So I don't think the dog had a bad life. It's just transitioning to a different family, which can be very traumatic.
It is, because they feel grief just like we do. If you, you just lost your companion.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly the same. So if you can tap into their grief and help them, you just walk in with a lot of love and compassion and looking to help them transition into the new family. That's helpful. And I hope this is good for everybody, because this is really the work that animal communicators do at in our core when we're communicating with animals, is always bringing in the hope for the best life for them, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
This is Janet. Thank you for sharing that and asking that question, and for that amazing response, Mary Beth. And I would like to add that poor Ziggy is the most loving, cuddly animal you'll ever meet at the same time. So while he does act out and he will, swipe at you or nip at you when he's really anxious and do things in the living room that he's not supposed to do, he's actually probably the most loving cat I've ever met. So there's that aspect too.
Thank you, Jan. Yeah, because that's what we're hoping for, is to watch the unfolding of that beautiful soul that's who they want to be. And we hold that space. I'm going to cry, but we're holding that space for those souls that are coming to our lives. And And even if it, Diane, maybe that's, you're at a place that you can help that happen. And Janet, I know you're there because you're doing it.
Well, I always joke. So we had one cat prior to this one, and he was a wonderful cat, but he was not cuddling. And he passed away a few years ago, or about a year before we got these two new cats. And I kept telling my husband, I was like, I need furry babies. Because my kids were getting older and, I don't know. I just kept saying I needed furry babies. And now I laugh at that because these cats lay on us like our old cat never did. I mean, they literally lay like babies in my arms. So I joke that God gave us exactly what I asked for. So it's funny.
It's so true. We do get it. So, and I hope this conversation will be useful for everybody. So thank you so much for bringing us there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're almost at the hour and a half, and I know you guys have other things to do. So thank you for sticking around, and I will see you next week. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Thank
All right.
you. Bye.